Oseo, what's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short, or Divine Star Seed. This is a collective message. Only take what resonates to and for you. Leave what doesn't. Tap into your intuition and use your discernment to see why you were drawn to this specific message. Some of these cards are a bit graphic, a bit of nudity, nothing too crazy. This reading does incorporate sexuality into it, the sacred sexual nature. So if that type of thing disturbs you in any way, I recommend that you move on to another reading on my channel. I'm sure I have something else that can give you some guidance. Make sure that you are centering yourself. So before you choose your option, I recommend that you close your eyes. Inhale for the count of 7. Hold it for 7. And then slowly exhale for the count of 7. If you can't do 7 breaths, count up to where you can, and you're going to hold for the same sequence and then release for the same sequence. When you are done, choose your pile. If you resonate with both, I recommend choosing the one that calls to you the most, okay, between these two options, and then watch the other one secondary. And without further ado, my loves, we tap into pile 1. All right, pile 1, this is your channeled message. We're tapping into a lot of sensitive subjects, so trigger warnings. Make sure that you guys are aligned for either pile that you've chosen. I always recommend to align yourself before you watch any type of message, because there could be triggers in there that you're meant to cleanse out, and you have to be willing to face them in order to do so. We're tapping into different sexual energies, so nothing crazy and explicit. This is more so about self-love, but of course it's probably going to tie into your person or previous partners. We'll see where it goes. We're going to be using the Nomad Warrior Tarot. I was divinely guided to this deck based on a vision I had, actually. So it was a very, very powerful deck of cards, and we're using it for this particular reading. Let's hop right on in. Pile 1, you have a lot of healing to do. A lot of healing from youth is the first thing I channeled here. I don't want to take too long with the pre-channels, but youth is of grave importance for healing in your life right now. There are things that you're carrying over from when you were younger. This can be teen years, even younger than that. And it's played out in your love life, actually. It's also played out maybe in your choices when it comes to love and how you view intimacy. You might be someone, or again, if you're watching for your person, they could be someone that puts up a lot of fronts, like pretends to be okay when they're not, hides their emotions a lot, hides behind a facade of cheerfulness, maybe even playette-like mentality. You could be cross-watching. I might say you, but you could still be cross-watching for another person. Let's find out what's going on with group 1. We have the moon, so plays into a part of what I'm saying here about self-reflection, needing to be truthful with yourself, something from childhood playing a part. You might have felt like you lost a lot in your younger years. You could have also had family that wasn't good with connection. I feel like there's a truth that needs to be revealed from within, and also a truth about the others around you. So when it comes to love, and a part of your self-love healing involves facing the truths and seeing the real you. It just keeps repeating itself. You see how these ribbons, these spirit ribbons, are wrapping around her like they're about to uplift her, cleanse her spirit, make her feel lighter on her feet. But before that can happen, there's a lot that she has to get in tune with about herself. So this energy feels very divine feminine. The moon energy is divine feminine. If you're a masculine watching, you can still resonate with this. This can be about healing the inner feminine energy within yourself. Also, you could be dealing with a person going through this. So I recommend when your masculine and feminine energy comes out first, that you still stick around and watch. And the same thing for the feminines. It's important that you understand both energies, because both energies not only play out in your life, but they play out in your own field. So there's a lot of needing to see the truth and find oneself, like finding yourself. And a lot of you in this group could be in your early 30s to about mid 40s. And a lot of the experiences that this is about is coming from teen years or 20s. And if you're in your 20s right now, then you might be in the midst of this energy that I'm picking up on, because it's very intense right now. Let's hop into more of the tarot. I'm going to do more of the tarot. I feel we need more tarot cards, loves. Woo! Okay. Look at that. The Page of Pentacles, which is a youthful card. Look how she's holding this, like she's receiving it, but it's almost like she's, you know, kind of turned it around. I'm seeing somebody with like a ball in their hand, like a crystal or what do they call it, a sphere, and they're like turning it all around, trying to get every angle, like they're really trying to learn what it's about. That's what's going on here. A lot of you are really still trying to learn who you are. And again, your trauma or your issues stemmed from when you were younger. You might have also had people around you that weren't the best examples of love. They didn't give you the best examples of love. So, you know, broken home like energy. And that can mean anything for a variety of people. This is a collective reading. I'm not going to try and make it, you know, too personal. But I am picking up on a few of you, picking up on traits that you didn't like when you were a kid. You didn't like seeing it done. You didn't like doing it, but you found yourself doing it. It just, you sort of inherit the behavior. So there's a lot of family wounds that need to heal. A lot of cleansing generational curses and generational patterns. When, you know, a lot of times when people say generational curses, can it be that someone put a curse on the family? Sure. But most of the time it's from within the family. It's a behavior, a mentality that's just constantly passed down, and it breeds toxic situations and it breeds toxic connections. I feel like many of you divine feminines, you've had women in your life that you admired, but some of the things they left you with, like the lessons, have left you kind of scarred here. For example, if they said things to you like, all men ain't ish, well, all men cheat, well, all men do this. They could be an amazing patriarch of your family, but their pain from how they were treated or how they witnessed their mother, grandmother, or whoever in their life treated, they've passed down to you, even if it wasn't their intent to. So when dating, you've either A, found yourself getting involved with people who were literally that archetype, or you assumed it, and you might have actually damaged a connection in always assuming that, okay, at some point the other shoe's going to fall. At some point you're going to do me dirty because, like, that's what a guy does. And let me fix this for you real quick. A man doesn't act that way. A boy maybe, but not a man. And a true masculine, as he learns himself and he connects with himself, he can't help but to come to an understanding of the feminine energy over time. There are a lot of behavior patterns that have been taught to people to be the so-called, this is how the sexes are ran, right? This is what this sex does, and that's what that one does. But in reality, it's all ish. It's all bull. Once you start to really tap into energy and vibration, you cannot deny each other's grace. You cannot deny each other's worth. And you start realizing that behavior patterns are exactly that, behavior patterns, and they can change. Just like you have a certain conscious that's been projected on you that you're carrying, most of them have a projected consciousness on them that they're carrying. You can't be the pot calling the kettle black. As you heal, the energies that come into your life will also be that of healed people or people who assist in your healing. So be mindful of casting stones here. But I do feel like some of you, if you're a masculine, you can resonate with this too, because you've probably heard it. You know, you've probably heard families say these things when it comes to women, or, you know, your concept of how to act or what you may identify with as a guy is literally chopped up to a bunch of behavioral patterns that aren't even really yours. You just adopted them over time. Right? So somebody holds their heart back here. Okay, we have another flipper. And look at that. Right as I say that, we have the Four of Pentacles. Someone's holding back, but they also feel drained from doing so. It's like, I never give all of myself in a connection. I never let someone think that they can take me for a fool. You know, this entire land, this entire garden, meaning your body perhaps, or, you know, for women, I'm feeling like this is your body. You don't want to, a lot of you aren't sexually active right now. If you are, you're very, 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 like, you know what I mean? Like you're not just trying to mix and mingle with just anybody, you know? And it's not that that's a bad thing, but the problem is you're also guarding the heart against any kind of blessings that may want to come in as well. Any kind of connections that are coming in from you to learn from, you're also blocking them. When you were younger, you either was with someone, you blame it on age all the time, right? Like, oh, because we were young and dumb, blah, blah, blah. That may be true to an extent for that time period, but if that's the case and you truly accept it, why are you carrying any of the pains, burdens, or hardships into new relationships? Because if you understood that that was then when you were younger, you would let it go, you would let it heal, and that past would dissolve as it's supposed to. The past doesn't come with you. It only does when you choose to pick it up and carry it. And that's what some of you who resonate with this power are doing right now. Or if you're watching for someone else, that's what they're doing. They're picking up their pain and they're carrying it, and it's acting out in their life in other ways. So this is someone, some of you have closed yourself off because you're going through healing, right? So you've closed yourself off to go through healing, but others, yourself, you may use the excuse of healing, but honestly, you're not allowing yourself to really grow and develop the way you can. It's like you're doing everything yourself. Hold it all from me. Can't share it with no one, and that's getting tired. It's getting heavy. That shovel's getting heavy. You're burying things and not actually cleansing things, you know? Let's get into the next message. It's, oh, look at that. I heard Old Flame. There's a song. I think the singer's name is pronounced either Kimbra or Kibra. Something like, it begins with a K. But she has a song called Old Flame. Which can be false flame connections in spiritual translations. This is telling me here, some of you want to have an opportunity to come out of this stuck feeling, but there could be a person coming around, a person that you might have had a negative experience with. They're bringing up old habits, they're bringing up old desires, and a part of you is conflicted about it, like, do I hold out or do I give in? I also feel like for some of you, it's talking about a person that you were into, but you guys never got to explore it for whatever reason. Maybe y'all were both dating other people at the time. Perhaps you guys just were friends and was like, oh, we don't want to cross the line. There could be, you know, it's different groups here, different people, take what resonates. But there's someone you know or you know of, you had an acquaintance with, and y'all feel like it's something going on there. Like there's a tight bond, but both of you, every time one wanted to explore it, somebody held back. I feel like those of you resonating with this group, you're the one that always held back, even if that person like tried to, hey, you want to go out? You want to just hang, just the two of us and not a bunch of other people, see each other, and it's not just at a function, and you always held back instead of taking action even when you really wanted to. And sometimes it might have been because of an old flame that kept popping up in your life. So there's different people's energies channeling here, but I do definitely feel like there's a chance for real love. There's a chance for a person who will help you even through this healing, because healing is necessary for this group. But you've got to be willing to open up. You've got to be willing to give in a little bit. You can't be tugging and pulling all the time, and at the same time you're never giving. There's an expression that sometimes people use where they're like, okay, when you show your truth, I'll show my truth, right? The problem with that is you're already scared to do so. So even when that individual is showing you the truth, you still find something to hide behind. And that's not fair, because they're putting themselves out there. They're like, look, I'm providing the opportunity. I'm taking the action. I'm passionate about you. But you're allowing old connections that you know didn't do you no good, probably old connections from when you were younger, get in the way of that divine connection. So it's like you've been praying for a particular thing, then it pops up in front of you and you neglect it, or you put all these rules to it, making it almost impossible for it to be what you asked for it to be. You know, are you really ready to move on? Are you really ready to accept someone new? And for some of you, this so-called new person, I'm hearing union, you know, like this new person might be someone you know. Whoop. Oh Lord, that hit my mic. Yeah, for you guys, this person's a wish fulfillment, and look at that, 6 of Cups. For you guys, this person is like a dream come true, but they're being blocked by someone that was a nightmare. Right? They're coming to you and they're like, look, I got this this fruitful new beginning. I want to bring you this life that I want to plant with you, and you know, I'm coming to you as I am, and can you take me as I am? Will you trust me? And you're just sitting there like, This be you, masculine or feminine. We're now going to hop into the next oracle. If you guys are hearing ocean sounds in the background, I was led to leave water playing in the background. A cleansing, something to give a cleansing sensation, a cleansing meaning. So hopefully it's not too loud, but also it's not too low. Okay. Let's clarify the first card. Let's clarify the moon. Look at that. Secrets and discoveries. Secrets and discoveries. What was I saying about this group? Right? There's a lot of secrets that need to be revealed about yourself, least of all about other people around you or that you may have dealt with. But it's like you're hiding a bit here. You know, that's what the moon card can be about. When it's not just dreams and intuition, it's also about like I'm hiding a part of me, or I don't allow myself to see the real me, and it has to be illuminated. It has to come to light. It must come full circle. We have Taurus energy present here. Stability, getting stable, being in a position of true stability here. Let's go into the next one. We got 2 other decks to get into after this. The pain hidden by luxury. Notice we have 22, so 2-2, and then we have 3-3. Those numbers are significant. I would actually recommend looking them up in that sequence. 22 and 33. If you already are really good with numerology, you can sum it up. I won't do it here right now. It makes the readings take forever. But these numbers are significant. Someone's address might be like 2333 something lane or north, because I just heard north. Maybe someone's from like up north. If you're in the US or any country you're from, you could be from a northern region. That just stood out for some reason. That's really important for somebody. We have the pain hidden by luxury. And you notice how she has these scars on her back, but she has this pretty outfit on that's facing the front. Remember what I said about someone putting on like a front, like, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, everything's good, I've healed from my past childhood, whatever it was. Everything's no, you haven't. And this involves youth. This is a part of that self-honesty and that self-discovery, is being real about the things you've been through. Being real also if you hold regrets, but not holding on to the regrets. Be honest about them and then let them cleanse themselves out, you know, by doing the work. Not just saying, oh, I have no regrets, but the whole time you actually do. Or saying that you do and then you hold on to them. And again, a trigger warning here. She has lashes on her back. So someone could have been in an abusive connection, be it verbal or otherwise, or an abusive family situation, because I keep feeling like this ties into family bonds of some kind. That old lover, or maybe lovers in the past, not everyone's going to resonate with that, but I have to say was channeling in, could have been very verbal, may have put you down about self-esteem, but when you're in public, they cared about appearances. So you smile in front of people like you're happy, but you're not. For others, it's not necessarily that there was physical and mental abuse. There was just this like losing of identity, like kind of like losing yourself in someone else and wanting out, and maybe family pressured you to stay for a while. So it took a minute to get free. Moving on to the next card. Oh, look at that. This looks like a garden, right? This is the 4 of Pentacles, but it looks like a garden. And we have the garden at the top of the world. The garden at the top of the world. So we have 32. There's something about the 30s. And remember I said some of you are like in your 30s or 40s, so that's also standing out. Here's the thing. For some of you, this is okay. You're healing. You're like, I'm taking my time out to heal myself. I'm doing what I need to do to go through my metamorphosis. But for others, you use that as an excuse, but you're really just distancing yourself from everyone and everything. It's like I'm out of reach, holding to myself out of reach, and that can get exhausting over time. Self-healing doesn't always have to be alone. Let me say that again. Self-healing doesn't always have to be alone. Oh, child. For better or for worse. Somebody was in a marriage that might have been toxic, but also I'm feeling like when it comes to that new flame energy that's trying to come in, i.e. the real divine one, they're like, I understand that you have to heal. I want to help you. I want to be there for you. I see it. You're tired. You're exhausted. Faith is dwindling, but I'm brought here to love you. I'm brought here to help you heal like you helped me heal. So now that you're tired, let me hold you up. That's stability, right? They almost look like the same couple. Look at that. You could be with someone that has a goatee, or your person may have a goatee. I understand somebody's trying to come in, because again, there's like this old connection trying to come in, but it ain't good. It's not a good one. And this person's like, I'll defend you. I'll protect you. I'll watch out for you. But baby, you got to let me. I can't do what you don't let me do. I can try. You know, I can spiritually send some stuff, but this is definitely a masculine energy, because I'm literally hearing, but I can't do what you don't let me. Like, I want to be there, but you have to let me be there. Otherwise, I'm just throwing myself up against a wall with spikes and thorns with no result. So someone might have actually said that to a person, or maybe it's a part of a poem that they might have sent to a person to express their feelings. Take it how it resonates. We have the flow of inspiration. Be careful not to just get caught up in a wave of passion with whoever that old connection is, okay? Whoever that old connection is, don't just get caught up in the waves of passion. Bottom of the deck, we have the purity of freedom. And look at that. It's number 4. 4 of Pentacles. 4 of this. So the number 44. These zodiac signs are also important here as well. We have communication, matters of the heart. We have Aries energy, Pisces energy. We have Pisces and Selena, so that's the white moon. And we have somebody. Where is it? There we go. I believe that's Leo. And yeah, I already mentioned Taurus. And some of these are the same energies that are out here right now. Also Cancer energies channeling in, and Aquarius energy. Let's move on. Yeah, I'm kind of hearing that. Be mindful to, if this person was abusive, you already know to avoid it. But again, it's making the constantly clinging to it is making it where you're not opening your heart to this new person that wants to come in and take care of you. It's not saying you can't take care of yourself, because some of y'all get caught up on that, like, but I'm Miss Independent. So what? You can be Miss Independent all by yourself all your life and still be sitting up here saying, I'm praying for my counterpart. Stop. Humans are about connection, not disconnection. Detach from the past. Don't get attached to the new, but connect to it. Connect with it. Flow with it. Let yourself be in that state where you can be harmonious enough within yourself that you allow yourself to be open to what you deserve, because you understand you deserve it. It doesn't matter what the family past was, what the old love was, the old marriage. That's back then. This is now. Focus on the you now. There's a divine feminine here with dark hair. It's like she's looking in the mirror, like she had to face the mirror on a lot of things a lot, but I feel like when she looked in the mirror, she kept seeing reflections of like family, you know, family obligation and otherwise. Let that go. The flow of inspiration is passionate. passionate connection, a passionate soul connection. You don't have to give in too fast to that new person. And what I mean by that is you don't have to rush into sex. This is a sexual energy as well. You don't have to rush into sex, but don't burden that new person with the past stuff, because you wouldn't want them to do that to you, nor should you allow them to do it to you, because they too, I feel like somebody here is dealing with a person, like both of y'all were dealing with karmics at like really intense ones, maybe even around the same time of your life, whether y'all were aware of it or not. Like if you were to sit down and talk, you would find out that the same time you were dealing with some ish, they were dealing with some ish. It happens a lot of times on these mirroring journeys. So they're purifying themselves just as much as you need to purify yourself. That cleansing energy. Let's get into the denied shadow. Inner child, be kind to yourself, let creativity flow. Boom. Inner child. Secrets and discoveries, right? Secrets and discoveries of the inner child, of a younger you. It doesn't have to necessarily just be a childhood version of you, but a younger you. Next pile. Wounds. Childhood trauma affects this relationship. Possibly your relationships, plural. Remember what I said about her holding like a ball, like a crystal ball or some type of crystal, sphere, and she's like moving it all around in her hand. She's checking it from different angles. The childhood curiosity and play, like she really wants to learn about it. She really wants to learn what this is. A part of that could be you really want to learn what's necessary to heal your childhood, and a part of that is tapping into creativity and inspiration. Just be mindful to not get caught up in the whimsical, the moon can sometimes be whimsical, rush of it all, to where you either for some of you, where you might have had an ex that you had a deep attachment to, you rush back into that knowing good and dang well it ain't gonna work out. Or B, even with the new connection, you rush into it, and then when they don't do what you want, how you want, when you want it on the spot, you use that as an excuse to try to bounce. Yeah, I'm getting real specific things about some of y'all. And we're about honesty around here, but it's always with love. There are no problems without solutions. There are no questions without answers, but understand that you will be the problem to your solution. You will be the solution to your problem and the answer to your questions. We have karmic, I just said that, karmic partner. Somebody holds back because of karmic partners they dealt with in the past. Somebody puts themselves and locks themselves up in the garden, in a tower, a garden with a tower in it, way up above the clouds somewhere, so they don't have to deal with people in general. The kind of people who say love is just for the movies and whatnot. No, it's not. Love is actually how we heal this entire planet altogether. It's how we actually contribute our part to the universe. Stop putting false things on the word love and then getting upset when you get with false people and they don't treat you right. Somebody needed to hear that. Karmic partners are not soulmates. They can be karmic bonds. They're lessons. They're things you're meant to learn and evolve from. And unfortunately, sometimes some people just stay stuck, right? But difficult soulmates can be a thing. And I've described this before. Soulmates are path-driven. Divine flames are mission-driven. And so what that means is, let's say once upon a time you wanted to be, we have a lot of creativity out here. So let's say once upon a time you wanted to be a painter or a photographer, right? And you invested time in it, but your family didn't believe in you. People didn't believe in you. You couldn't get your work out there. You couldn't do anything. So at some point you just got exhausted. You gave up on it. You settled for a certain path. You settled for a certain life. There's a partner who fits that. Doesn't matter which version. You can, it doesn't always have to be traumatic. It can just be, I settled for the house with the picket fence. I settled for living in the city, renting an apartment. You know what I mean? And there's a person who fits that lifestyle. Then one day you wake up, and this goes for whoever feels like they lost their identity in a connection. You wake up one day and you don't know who you are. You're not doing what you love. Destiny starts calling you. Destiny starts saying you were meant to be that artist or meant to be that photographer. Your work is meant to do more than just exist. It's actually meant to help people heal. In fact, as you work on it, as you study it, you heal. So then you go, well, okay, you start diving into it, but that partner didn't sign up for that. That partner doesn't understand that lifestyle. You don't have to hate each other. You didn't even have to end on a bad note, which is why if some of them are coming back around, some of you are tempted to go into it. But the reality is, once you chose your destiny and not just some fixed way of existing in a plain fate, that particular partner that would have made sense for that fixed path no longer makes sense as you walk your destiny. So you have to, with love, with peace, let them go so you can be in your harmony. And some of you struggle with that. And you struggle if you really cared about that person or they really cared about you at some point. It's not that you just wanted to bounce, but you had to do what was necessary to heal you. That's what's happening here with this group, with some of you. With others, that person was toxic. They weren't a soulmate at all. They were karmic. They were abusive, verbally or physically. And you thought you had to put up with it. Maybe even family told you to put up with it. And you finally break free of it. But there's a part of you that lost a bit of identity in the sense, or rather some of your identity got dormant in the sense that you thought you had to tolerate that behavior. So now, as you've made yourself strong, you've also made this fortress around yourself that's almost impenetrable. And it keeps creating karmic situations. Look at the sky here, right? The sky on the earth cards is very cloudy and murky, and we have like desert and some greenery, and there's a sense of needing vegetation, needing growth, needing to add more here, and having to claw and scrape just to get the simplest thing to grow. That's where some of you are. And that's what you're healing. And that's why healing is of the importance. And you have a person coming in here, a love interest coming in here saying, I got you. I will help you with this, but I can only help you if you allow me. I cannot force myself into your world. And if they were to really try to force, it's not that they're not going to make an attempt. It's not that they're not going to keep showing up for as long as they can bear showing up. But if they were to really just try to say, woman, you're going to spend your time, then you're going to label them the same way that partner was labeled. And then they're back at square one or cut off entirely. So some of you are on path-driven connections, soulmates. Others are on mission-driven connections, whereas you stand in the power of your truth and you start to put that work out there that's going to really shift this world. There's a partner doing the same thing, going through the same kind of problem, maybe not the same kind of problem, but they're going through some ish, and they also have a mission. And when you come together, for better or worse, you enhance people, you enhance each other out of it. And please do not mistake for better or worse to mean I tolerate you treating me like ish, because that's not what it's about. It means when them storms come, I weather it with you. When them warriors come knocking at the door, I'm your first and last line of defense. You understand what I'm saying? There's a difference. I need y'all to really, some of you really need to hear this, because you've been translating certain phrases wrong for a vast majority of your life. And it's time to wake up. It's time to get up, to cleanse and to wake up. Don't be in denial. We have healing. Don't deny yourself healing. Don't deny yourself facing the truth. Someone needs to heal old wounds. Look at this. Wounds. Childhood. Some of you may have children that you need to change and expand for, because they don't need to carry this burden too. They don't need to wake up in a world with that kind of energy. Reunion. And for others, I hear union. So remember what I said before about I'm hearing it's a Drake song, but I'm hearing Alicia's part. All I see is fireworks. All I see is fireworks. Every night is fireworks. That's what I'm hearing. So sparks flying between, again, we do have the Ace of Wands right next to that. Sparks are flying between a couple that needs to come together. But I'm hearing union and reunion. So again, for some of you, the person that you need to come into union with is someone that you may know, but you never really dated, may have wanted to. Things always got in the way, or you held yourself back. For others, there's an old energy trying to come around. For some, to create disruptions. For others, they're not meant for this path, but they might be missing you. It's like you've missed each other in your solitudes or loneliness. So be mindful, use your discernment, really tap into your intuition, separate it from your opinion so that you can get the best guidance and result from this. Let's move on to the next deck. This group had a lot of 3s appear, and we're like already 30 some minutes just into pile 1. So pile 1, that 33, again, I was kind of picking up on numbers that could be an address, not trying to give away nobody's location, just saying what channeled in, darlings. 30s are important here. The number 3 is important here. Let's go back to the first pile. 7 of Pentacles. Seeing the real you, discovering the real you, inner child, tapping into that, healing that. This 7 of Pentacles feels, once again, a lot of you resonate with this, like, I need my own garden, or I need my own space type of vibration. I need a place that I can rest my head. I need that assurance that I feel like sometimes only I can give myself, and it makes you closed off at times. March and April are important months, and we're already, March is still in this energetic field as this is getting posted, but we're heading into April as we speak. Some of you are planting seeds in March. Some of you are going to plant them in April, but many of you had things to harvest between now and the rest of April. So again, don't get stuck. Don't get held up. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't get caught up on if you wanted to do something by a certain date and it just didn't get done by that date. Let that go. Let it go, because that just creates more wounds. I keep hearing, be kind to yourself. Be patient to yourself. Harvest what you can now. Let what needs to grow, grow. Be it a connection. And this is the same for your sensuality. Some of you really need to get in tune with your sexual side for yourself. And I channeled this the other day in my Insta story as well. I think it was yesterday, where I said there was a group who needs to learn to please themselves before they rely on another to do it. Learn to satisfy yourself mentally, physically, sexually, spiritually, before you open the gate to another. Others might learn it as they open the gate to another, but start with self first. Take it how it resonates. I called it. Family. Look at how, and again, these cards have nudity, guys, but you shouldn't be ashamed of your naked body. Some of you need to stand in the mirror and really praise yourself. You see how these 2 relatives are cleansing her, and she looks like she's preparing for a wedding? These are ancestors that are trying to cleanse their family trauma off of your lineage. These are people who are trying to heal this bloodline. Heal it completely, as you need to also heal your blood and soul line. It's time to really heal. Let go. Somebody felt pressured into marriage or obligated. You now may have kids of your own, or you want kids of your own. You cannot carry this into another line. It's meant to stop with you. I tell you guys all the time, because a lot of y'all do ancestor work. A lot of you. It's not about carrying the trauma of your ancestors. It's about healing it. Why do you want them to keep reliving their pain? Ask yourself that. When you find yourself go, well, I'm angry because my great grandma went through. Acknowledge what happened. That's not what you're not being told to do. What you're being told not to do is to constantly and continuously carry the anger, the pain, the hurt over and over again into connection, so much that you continue it in your own bloodline. Because then you live it, and then your children's children live it, and next thing you know, you're in a generational curse. That's how they start. Listen, not all ancestors are good ancestors, and some would love for you to keep carrying the torch of war and that be all that you know. But others are saying, you know what the point of a real warrior is? To actually divinely protect and know how to fight and how to let their blades down. Put them away. War is over. That's what you're being told here right now. The pains from childhood probably stem from, for example, if you had a mother that was verbally abusive, she may have had a relative that was verbally abusive. And it may go back several generations, skips every now and then, comes back in. Somebody has to acknowledge it and then heal it. It can't just keep being this, swept under the rug thing. I'm going to hold my tongue on some of what I'm seeing here, because I don't feel like all of that's meant to be shared in a collective reading. Whom those messages are for, you'll understand it when you hear it. But it's time to heal. And I don't care what your ancestry background is. Viking, which is more of an occupation, but you get it. So Norse background, that's here. Viking energy has been channeling in a lot, actually, which is interesting. I don't care if it's African lineage. Whatever your lineage is, South Asia, South America, the southern regions that went through some of the most atrocities, the most invasions, the most trauma, melanin, whatever. You are meant to heal your people. And as you heal your family and your people, which brings you into connection with others that are also outside of what you may identify with, it helps you to heal this planet. There's a bigger role here for those of you in this group. There's a bigger role. I feel like your reading is taking so long because of the importance of that role, the importance of getting things into balance. The importance of not just juggling things all by yourself because you're holding out. You're holding your energy from the world. You're hiding your light because you don't want to risk being hurt again. You're putting yourself up there on the top of that hill above them clouds, not wanting to be bothered, when at the end of the day, you're meant to show your true strength. Here's the interesting thing that's pointing out right now. She's got this snake eating herself while she's in the center of the snake. They can crush each other. She can cause that snake to crush them both, or she can tame it. The decision is yours. Masculine or feminine, whoever's resonating with this, the decision is yours. No one can make you do anything. You are responsible for your decisions. Woo! I'm only taking 2. We're not taking all of that. And we'll take them in the order they fell out. We have 9 of Swords. Didn't I say it's time to wake up? Didn't I say it's time to wake up? It's time to take action. Come up out of all that anxiety, all that fear. That's when things will become clear, including those sacred connections, those legit contracts between you and another soul. Pile 1, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Pile 1. That was your reading. I pray that resonated with you and it brings you the healing, the clarity, and the love that you deserve. May you feel it and be honored. Peace, love, and light, beautiful soul. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your channeled message. Please remember that these cards have a bit of nudity, so if that bothers you, you can check out. What you discover here in any of these groups also help towards sexual healing as well. So as always, be prepared to possibly hear triggers. Your group your group is a matter of the heart. Your group is a matter of allowing yourself to cleanse out toxic traits that some of you, yes, you watching, may have, so that you can actually have that renewal and that divine connection that you've been praying and asking for this whole time. I'm not going to do a whole lot of pre-channeling right now. There's a lot of decks to get into, and Pile 1 alone took a while, so we're just going to jump right on into this. But a huge part of this message is transformative love. I feel like love that transforms state of mind, heart, and overall being. We're going to be using, I'm shuffling before I even say the deck we're using here. I was actually moved to get this deck after a vision that I had for myself. It's a very powerful deck. It is the Nomad Warrior Tarot. So expect to see it a lot, my loves. Ooh, we have flippers already. We have 3 of Hearts. No wonder you need that transformative love, right? We have 3 of Hearts vibration. someone's not allowing themselves to really explore. And I feel like a part of this is because you had a connection that either you did someone really dirty or they did you really dirty. Maybe it was a tit for tat here. I'm not picking up on simple heartache where it's like you can put it, not that you can normally put it all on one person all the time, but what happens a lot of times in connections is a person does something foul and the individual just keeps tolerating it and tolerating it. Blame it on youth, blame it on whatever. But at some point your tolerance level was way too laxed, and so you ended up allowing things that shouldn't have been allowed. So that's at times how you play a part. But what I'm picking up is a lot of you actually did this tit for tat game. Sometimes in front of other people or in the eyes of other people, because I see eyes here. I see 3 sets of eyes. Somebody was in some type of love triangle. Could have been you, could have been the person you were dealing with, but there was some type of like, I don't know who to choose. I don't know who my person should be kind of vibration. Let's dive more into that. I just feel like a person is, you need to be replenished. Just, you feel, some of you in this group, I'm not saying that you don't have things in your life that you're happy for and that you should also be grateful for. That helps to bring it in, more love, more acceptance. But a lot of you, when it comes to self-love, you feel empty. If you were to look in a mirror right now and really face yourself, you feel kind of numb when you do that. And a part of this is because of the pains and the disappointments that you've been through before. And I feel like for some of you, this wasn't too long ago that you went through this. Could have been just a few months ago for a few of you. For others, even though it might have been anywhere between 5 to about 10 years ago, it still had an effect. There were a lot of moving hands and a lot of parties involved. You carried that pain, and then that pain started manifesting as other partners and other situations as you went out. It's kind of like, I'm seeing Sailor Jupiter. And for those of you who watched the original Sailor Moon, do not watch Sailor Moon Crystals. The original Sailor Moon is of importance. Jupiter was constantly liking the same type of man. She kept falling. She had one boy that she, went head over heels for, and then she kept kind of like falling for that sort of archetype, right? That leave you standing, leave you for someone else type of vibration. And this is sort of what's happening for some of you in this group. And this could be happening to a masculine. Masculine's and feminine energy is here. And like I said, it doesn't matter which you resonate as. Watch both anyway, because it helps you understand more about yourself as well as, the partner that you could be dealing with. Let's figure out what's going on here. Let's dive deeper into this. Four of Wands. Yeah, somebody feels like an empty well. You see, now in the picture, there's water here. But it feels like a person is thinking to themselves, I've been through enough shit. I've done enough. I'm not trying to participate. This is my last blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to do this no more. F it all. Da, 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 da. It's like, I'm going to just drink this cup for myself. No one else can partake in it. Again, a marriage. This could have been someone that went through a divorce. Because again, I feel like a person is just the pains in the past. These 3 sets of eyes. 3 people involved. 3 situations. 3 ways of having pain. So either this was, for example, let's say a person was married 3 times, or we're in 3 serious relationships, and each of those relationships kind of ended in a similar way with either maybe adultery, be it you or them. I keep it real around here, and I'm picking up some of y'all watching. You slipped up, or they just kind of like abandoned you, like they just left, The reasons didn't seem to validate. I'm picking up like a Aquarius kind of energy. Think about Aquarius as an energy, okay? Sometimes when it resonates through a person, because they're so forward thinking, they need to know why. Why did you leave me at the altar? Why? They get so caught up on the why, it leads to another why, and then they go down that rabbit hole, and everything that happens to them is taken mentally personal, which means eventually on an emotional level it's going to manifest, and then physically it's going to manifest because you're thinking it so dang hard, then you're feeling it so dang hard, and you don't allow the winds to shift as they need to. You don't allow the water to change direction. That's what's happening here. This is why the well feels empty. There's a divine connection that wants to come in and heal, but it's like a person's already jinxing it. Like, this is my last time trying to, because those other situations were so bad. Remember, this is a collective message, but there's a lesson for all of you who watch, and you continue to watch even when you only resonate with bits and pieces. Listen, there's a lesson. Someone else's pain can be your lesson so that you don't end up having to go through it yourself in vain. You understand? No one does anything in vain. There's always something. And when you find what the learning experience is, you find the blessing. It doesn't matter how bad the trauma, you find the blessing. We have the high priestess. You intuitively know this already. But what bugs you, again, because there's a divine connection coming in the midst of trying to heal from all this heartache. The unknown is what makes you paranoid, because you were betrayed in the past, or you did the betraying. I'm picking up both. I'm picking up those who were hurt and they hurt someone back, or without thinking they would even care, they hurt a person that they loved tremendously and then suffered the consequence for it. They kept thinking, but that was the one and that one got away. That's why my well's empty. No, that wasn't the one. That was a connection that you were meant to heal from. You were meant to heal. You went through that. It's not saying that you were meant to do them dirty. That was your choice. But the connection itself would have only went but so far. The true actual union that's coming towards you, the true real celebration of life that's happening, you're not allowing yourself to fully participate in it. As fruitful as it feels, even though you intuitively know better, because you're like, my last pail is my last bucket, or I gave my last bucket to the other person that hurt me or that I hurt, and this is where you're effing up, to put it bluntly. This is where you're kind of screwing yourself. But there were definitely betrayals. For others, you were the one hurt, and your guardian is, I'm hearing, walk through the door. And it's like you won't, because you're afraid. What if all of that in there, it ain't what it's cracked up to be? That water look real nice and clear. That land look, like it's growing pretty well. She's really pretty, and look at this. Oh yeah, it's all angelic and it's so beautiful. She got this scroll in her hand with all this knowledge and stuff. But what if I walk through this door and all of that's an illusion? And I'm right back here. That's the fear. And the high priestess is saying, why do you fear me? I'm the inner knowledge of you, so why do you fear me? Your intuition is linked to that divine essence. Why are you afraid of yourself? Because regardless of what may happen in a connection, if you don't want to walk through that door to tap into that unknown level of who you are, then that's a fear of self, not what's beyond those doors. That's the thought that you can't survive whatever you may go through. That's the thought that you can't get back up. The fact that you even fear that you be knocked down in and of itself is alarming. This is what these energies are saying. So some of you have had guides that have said this to you. The fact that you fear falling is alarming. Accept that destiny and walk through those doors. There's a lot of mysteries. You're not going to be allowed to know everything. So if a part of you is saying, I don't want to move on a connection, or I don't want to move in my self-love because I'm afraid of blah, 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 guess where you're going to be stuck at? It got to be blunt with you. The heart needs to be open. And it's not open for some of you in this group. You try to open it in other ways. You try to be giving in other ways. And you might even give great advice to other people on what they should do. But are you listening? Let me move on to these other cards, because I feel like Spirit wants me to lecture y'all. And I don't have time for that today. So let's get into these other messages. We got other messages to pick up here. We have 5 of Pentacles. Ooh, this ties so much into. You look at her, exhausted. Some of you, you're a masculine in this position, exhausted, tired, worn down, beat, feeling depleted. Like I was left at the altar, left in the cold. I can't go through these doors. This looks like an illusion. And here comes this person. Like, look at all the bottles he got. I got everything you need. I got you. The matter of fact, you don't even need to move. Just, I'll hold the bottle to your lips. You drink what you got to do, right? We get you together. We get you cleaned up. Got you. You're really not out here by yourself. You're just choosing to not take what's being offered towards you because you don't trust yourself, and therefore you don't trust it, even though you have the power of intuition. You have the power. And listen, intuition, as a spiritual mentor, let me explain. Our intuition doesn't always tell us the little tiny itty gritty nits of every little corner. We're told just enough for guidance. Then we have to go through the experience, because it's only through the experience that we actually learn what it is we're trying to figure out. If I gave you, and listen, it doesn't mean that we sometimes don't see it all. There's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing right now, because this is a collective reading, that I can't share because it's a collective reading. It's not personal. Let's say you book a personal reading and I can dive a little deeper into your situation. I'm honest with you and saying, listen, there's something your guys don't want you to focus on right now. There are readers who don't necessarily do that. They'll tell you everything. Now you're up in your head freaking out. There are things that you need to experience. That's why she's holding the door open and she's holding the scroll. She's not going to read that off to you. You're going to need to walk through these doors and take it. When she hands it over, you're going to need to, no, don't reach your hand, think she can hand, no, come through the door. She's just enough paces in that you need to go beyond that threshold in order to get that knowledge that she's holding for you. So let's say right now, I'm here as your messenger. I'm holding the scroll, right? Talking to your intuition, telling you, hey, come get this. But you're sitting here like, when I'm out in the cold and I don't have anywhere to go and I'm depleted and my last pail of water and the heartbreak and the games and the da-da-da-da. And here's another person right over there with you. Like, I can give you what you need to give you the nourishment to have enough strength to walk through the door, but you're ignoring them. It's all about perspective, my loves. It's all about perspective. You're being told to take initiative, to be an authority. There's a divine masculine that needs to hear this. There is a man. I'm seeing a man. There's a man that needs to hear this. You keep on making excuses. You keep on making excuses. There's no excuses here. Be an authority in what you do, because you can't claim your position until you're an authority in what you do. Someone's masculine needed to hear that, and there's a masculine watching, because some of y'all be lurking, that needed to hear that. Walk your path. Don't just keep hiding. Walk it. Look at that. The Chariot. The Chariot said, it's time to gear up and go. It's time to go. Why are you sitting here when it's time for us to get moving? We got all the supply. Look at that bag on his back. He like, we got all the supplies we need, okay? We got all the supplies. We got the camp. Let's go. You know that they can take the harsh desert weather. There's no excuses. That's what I'm hearing. No excuses. Bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. It's time. I keep hearing it's time. It's time. It's time. Let's get into the next message. Should I move these over, Spirit? Because we got a lot of decks up here. Let's move these over to the side. I might need to scoot some stuff. This is a part of sexual healing for a lot of you too. Learn to please yourself. Stop making excuses for not loving on yourself. And it doesn't have to just be sexually touching yourself, masturbation. It doesn't have to be that. But look in the mirror. Ladies, look in the mirror. Run your hands over your curves and appreciate them. If it's something that you want to remold, reshape, and change, make sure that it's because you want to do it, and it's not because someone told you you were this or you had to be that. And when you do it right. Take care of yourself. Don't be out here trying to damn near kill yourself to look a certain way or get cut up to look a certain way when you don't need it. You know, if there's something truly cosmetically going on that you want to fix, teeth, whatever, go ahead, do you. Do you, boo-boo. But some of you get so lost, again, you're going to find yourself in that position of, I have nothing left. Fill this cup. Masculines can do the same thing. Don't think that's a woman thing. Oh, it's a woman thing to stand in front of the mirror and appreciate curves. Nah, my friend. Masculines can do that too. Let's get a card for card 1. Let's get a clarifier for card 1. We have sweet sobriety and feelings. Sweet sobriety in feelings. I'm hearing feelings. That's the only part of that song I heard. Notice how she's half undressed and half getting ready to get undressed. This is somebody who's like, the reason I don't give my heart over so easily is because, not even just easily, but the reason I keep having the back and forth from putting up such a hard wall, I say I don't have much to give, is because the moment I really go out, I really go all in, it's all in. Much like when a virgin decides to give themselves over. It's like the moment that it happens, it's happened. That's how your mentality is. You either give all or nothing. Nothing wrong with it, but the problem is you're not open to giving anything at all, even when you should. It's time to stand in some self-love and self-power. It's time to fill yourself up with love in order to truly understand how another can love and appreciate you. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself always making an excuse as to why you're not giving more of yourself. This is a huge part of what needs to be understood here with these energies. It's okay to hold out for the right energy, but some of y'all just get caught on just holding out, because you feel like you don't have anything. You might, in fact, some of you don't hold out. Some of you do kind of just lay with whomever, or maybe not necessarily whomever, but you don't put much thought into it. It's like, whatever, I need to get off in the moment, but you feel empty afterwards. Because those people are draining your energy. They're taking from you and they're not replenishing you with anything. And the person that wants to replenish you and help you move forward, help you have that triumphant victory that you deserve, you're kind of ignoring them. For those of you who really resonate with that, you know who it already is. You have intuition. You're just not using it. I'm feeling like Queen of Swords vibes, like the negative side of her where she closes herself up too much. We have the hate nourished with love. There's a red-haired person that I'm seeing, not just because the woman on the card is a redhead, but I'm seeing somebody born a natural redhead. One person has brown skin and the other person is about the complexion of this woman here. But you're natural redheads. She got her knife there. She about to stab homie. Homie, he done painted this picture, and she's like, that picture ain't what it seemed to be. I gotta take you out. I'm getting that left at the altar vibes again. I just saw 1919 and 1212. I'm getting that left at the altar vibes from someone. Could be literally, which would be messed up, or it could just be you cut off an engagement, again, a divorce type energy, but there's somebody that wants to come in and heal all of that, but your hatred is keeping it from happening. That fear of giving all of self, because once you do, you're going to give too much, makes you indulge in situations you really shouldn't indulge in. For those who do indulge, others hold themselves back. For someone else, it keeps putting you in connections that are love, hate, love, hate, love, hate, love, hate, which isn't really love. It's the illusion of, it's that paint, that portrait in the background. And somebody else is like, but I'm here, and I'm here to tell you that this well's not empty, and you're ignoring them because you're looking for the next person that you'll have to cut out your life. In other words, you enter connections that aren't really that tight-knit, so that when it's time to cut somebody, you have a valid excuse to do so. You might feel called out. I'm seeing somebody kind of clutch their invisible pearls, like, did she just call me out like that? Yes. It's with love. It's for your growth. We have the temptation of pleasure. I knew Scorpio energy was going to come in here eventually. It was inevitable. Because whomever you are that resonates with any part of this, whatever part of this is your story, everything is a deep thought or a deep feeling. Somebody hides behind pleasure. Yeah, someone hides behind pleasure and needs more stability, needs more effort and courage in their life, but they hide behind certain facades. I'm trying to move these cards in a certain someone puts on an act, darling, like it's a theater. Curtain call. I heard that in a British accent for whatever reason. We have creative intimacy. Creative intimacy. again, somebody's like, I understand the picture that was painted before wasn't authentic, and that you've been finding yourself feeling deep emotions but allowing yourself in connections that aren't really that fulfilling. Once again, the bottom half is exposed, like someone's only giving half of themselves, and this person's like, the more of yourself that you reveal to me, the more I can help you plenish and purge whatever you need to. But before you can even allow this person to do that, you have to purge it yourself. There has to be a self-acknowledgement of healing here. And then we got one more card from this, and we're moving on to 2 other decks. Look at that. I said I saw 1919, right? The promise of unending love. Somebody's like, I'm trying to bring that to you if you just allow me to. You may resonate with group 1 a bit here. This matters more strong in the heart, but you may resonate with group 1. So if you felt compelled to watch it, I recommend doing that. My loves, I recommend watching it. Let's just move you out the way. I have to like work around a tripod, and I'm not trying to move my hands weird anymore. So we have someone saying, this picture was fake, but that's because that person was painting the portrait outside of yourself. You're the real canvas. You're the real piece of art. Can you see the art that you are? Can you allow yourself to be loved? Can you allow yourself to stop putting on an act? Look at the bottom of the deck, the great theater life. 3 people, 3 sets of eyes. The viewer themselves might be in a love triangle, my darlings. Let's see. Let's clear out the shadow. There's like a car going by with a loud bass or sound. I don't know what that is, but could be needing to clear out the noise. Ooh. Yep. Then someone dealt with deception, or were the deceptive. You get what I'm trying to say. Someone was a liar or dealt with a liar. We have someone isn't telling the truth. Someone isn't telling the truth to their own heart. Talking about some of my wells empty. Again, somebody here enters connections, or it could be your person, enters connections making sure they're not that serious so that they have a valid excuse to leave later. By not being honest, by not being open and clear. Move this back a bit, so you guys can actually like, you see if it's laying down? No. Pride. Listen, I said in the pre-channel, I said as we did this whole reading, these are just clarifications, right? Self-centeredness, ego-driven, feeling cut off. Even things like feeling a lack of love for self can be an ego problem. You wouldn't think so, because most people think the ego is just conceited. But in reality, the ego can be the same thing that puts you in a state of codependency, because you constantly need somebody to make you feel good, or you constantly need somebody to make you feel ashamed for past actions. But it's all driven by ego at the end of the day. It's a thin line between those emotions. We have engagement. Someone is ready to take things to the next level, and somebody fears that because they've been engaged before and it didn't work out, or that marriage didn't work out. And so they fear somebody else coming in saying, let me help you, take my hand. She's looking at him like she really wants to drink, like she's really thirsty, but she's also like, I don't necessarily, we're going to just put these on. You guys seen them. You seen what they said. You know, intuition is trying to tell you, come through the door, and you're not going through the door. That person's like, I got the water for you to help you get there. And you're like, no. Karmic partners and situations of the past got me not wanting to do that. Self-awareness. Be conscious of your own behavior. Have I not been like calling y'all out on your own behavior this entire time? Being mindful that yes, you're the art piece. You're both the canvas and the art. And what you allow other people to paint you as, that's on you. People can lie. People can do whatever they want. It's on you what you choose to actually act like and accept as reality. They can't force that on you. And there's somebody who's like, I see you as this beautiful work of art, and you're ignoring it. You're rejecting it out of fear. We have gestures. Someone wants to express themselves romantically, go off into this new journey with you, take you somewhere you've never been before. The chariot represents that wanting you to be victorious. This could be a date that they want to take you on. Look, what did I just say? Look at that. Rejection, fear, oversensitivity to being abandoned or rejected, abandoned, left at the altar. Putting on these theater acts out of fear. Pretending to be okay or pretending to be independent. Pretending, I don't want love. No, you want love. You just will sometimes, this may not resonate for everybody, but sometimes you play the fool in a connection. Later on when it ends, you go see, it doesn't last. It's not meant to last. No, it's meant to last. I'm going to say it bluntly. Some of you or the person you're dealing with is just being an ass. And you needed to hear it. Some of you need tough love, and some of you need the hug, the deep embrace. But you got to make room. A lot of y'all are going to resonate with group 1. So if you were moved to watch group 1, go ahead. 9 of Wands. 9 feels very important here. Remember I said there's a redhead? Now the redhead image here. Somebody is a redhead. One person's brown skin. The other person is about the complexion. Because she's a little paler. You could be pale. You could have tattoos. Because the tattoos are also standing out to me. You might have tattoos, a nice amount of them. Some of you kind of have like little peekaboo tattoos where they're in little areas that sort of pop out. This is such a strong energy. A strong resilientness, a strong resistance to allow themselves open because of these pains. But the wounded warrior has to learn to sometimes let go of the wounds. The wounded warrior has to realize sometimes you don't need to keep standing there like it's over. There's no reason for you to stand there. You can let it go. You don't have to put up the fight all the time. Sometimes when you do that, you're just stabbing yourself in the heart. Notice there's 3 blades, 3 sets of eyes. At what point do you realize that you're the person that's pretty much impaling yourself? You're bleeding your own self out because you won't let go of that energy. So you keep trying to relive it, all because of the abandonment of what you thought was supposed to be a divine union or a sacred path or a soulmate connection, but it wasn't. And it's a good thing that you learned before you got any deeper into it. You intuitively had signs the whole time, but you waited until you were out in the cold before you decided to move on. But have you moved on? Because you're still clinging to this. Now there's somebody coming in that wants to give you something better, and they're being blocked by this. This is why this reading is about self-love and self-intimacy, right? Because this can all be translated into sexual energy as well. Whether it's someone being overly promiscuous because they're afraid of being alone, but at the same time afraid of being connected, or someone being completely, some people don't just choose celibacy out of religious reasons. They choose it because they're just like, I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to deal with nobody. The well's empty. The well's not empty. And whatever empty feeling you're having, somebody wants to fill that cup, but they can't if you don't allow yourself to start to fill your own cup on your own. Then it's like every time they put something in there, it just gets vaped. It just gets turns into vapor. There's a lot of confusion in the hearts of some of y'all, but it's some of it is self-confusion. Remember what I said about the needing to know why, and that leads to another why and another why. If I give you the why, is that going to justify what happened? Are you going to be satisfied with the why? Or are you just going to say, but how come me? What I do? Okay, I answer that too. And then what? How long do you want to keep that cycle going? Because honestly, it's time to birth something new. But this has to come to a completion. This needing to fight all the time and have a guard up, be resilient. Like, okay, it's good being resilient, but sometimes you're just being resilient or stubborn on stuff that you don't need to be stubborn on, right? Hurting your own self and trying not to be hurt is just making you stab yourself, and there's still 2 blades to go. You dig? Let that cycle out so the new beginning can cycle in. Look at what, listen. Homie is, look at all them drinks in his hand. He's bringing a whole freaking waterfall. He's like, your cup's empty. I got you. This could be a divine feminine for a masculine. She's like, I got you. Again, sexual reading, right? Well, intimate self-love. That person's like, I can help you with your self-love, all right? But you're sitting here with the empty cup. It's like every time they fill it, you dump it. Then they fill it, you dump it. I'm not full. Dump it again. Nah, man. You have the potential to be fulfilled in this. You have the potential, but it starts by having self-awareness that, first of all, you already have all of the abundance and all of the emotional strength that you need. You're just not tapping into it. You're just refusing. You already feel things on a deep depth. You're just not allowing yourself to feel and let it go. Or when you feel, you make excuses. It's like there's a strong Scorpio energy here and a strong Cancer energy here. And I deal with a lot of Scorpios. Listen, sometimes not only do y'all also get caught up in the why, much like Aquarius can, but you choose to translate things in a way sometimes that creates more of a block for you than a blessing. So it'll be, okay, I was told to express myself. Now I'm expressing myself, but I feel like people are saying don't express myself. It's the way. It's the self-awareness in what you're doing. There's a masculine Scorpio, a feminine Scorpio, and we have a whole bunch of other signs here. Yes, they matter, but like I always tell you guys, the zodiacs aren't just here to just be in your chart and that's it. These are cosmic energies. They play a role in your everyday life, whether or not they have a strong placement in your chart. Scorpios feel things on a deep depth, and they're naturally sensual, they're naturally sexual, whether they cut themselves off from doing whatever or not. And there's somebody here who already can feel things deeply, but they don't allow themselves to. And when they do, they don't have self-awareness in how they do it. And so when somebody maybe tries to inform, or you might take it as criticism, whatever it may be, you get overly emotional. And you cut yourself off again, or you cut that person off, stabbing your own self with the blade. But this individual here is like, I just want to fill your cup. I wasn't even thinking about my own cup because I was trying to fill your cup. But the fear of rejection got some of y'all on pause. Self-love is so important for this group right now. Self-love and self-determination. I said what I said. Scorpio vibes. Scorpio vibes. It's time to allow yourself to really transform and heal the way that you're meant to. It's time. It's time to let go of confusion. Oh! Spirit, you know what? 4 of Wands. It's time to let yourself come into the right kind of union with self so that you can come into your divine union and leave the old wannabe version in the past and stop fearing rejection. Now, I wasn't moved to go to the bottom of the deck for the other pile this much, but child, I tell you what, pile 2, you are divinely loved. You are a divine being. Regardless of what you've done in your past or what's been done to you in the past, you have the capability and the capacity to heal it. But it's up to you to take the initiative to do it. This is Spirit's message for you. May it resonate where it needs to. May you have found the answers you needed to find so that you can have the courage to do what must be done. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.
Get your copy of Love Confession Cyber Edition. Link in bio.